I'm joined now by Dalia Ziada. She's a human rights activist, and she joins me now live. And you're an executive director of the Ibn Khaldun Center for Developmental Studies right here in Cairo. So you went out to vote, I understand, today?
Yes, I stopped in the line, but actually I couldn't vote because the line was really long and I had to go back to the center to continue monitoring. But I will go right away as soon as we finish.
So your organization is one of many monitoring the elections. Any reports of irregularities?
Yeah, there are many reports of irregularities, of course, but and mostly, unfortunately, they are coming from Islamist parties, especially the Muslim Brotherhood, and comes next other candidates like Amr Moussa and Ahmed Shafiq. But the best thing is that the revolutionary candidates did not commit any irregularities, which is great. But the bright side of irregularities as well is that people stood up for their vote. They did not agree to let anyone manipulate their vote or play with it.
So you're saying this is a big change, because if people attempted, for instance, to influence the vote or to vote for someone else, that for the first time voters in Egypt are saying, you're not allowed to do that. This is my personal vote.
We have observed more than a case in different places, not only in cities, but also in rural areas, where people stopped others from telling them whom to vote for. One of these most interesting incidents is in Upper Egypt. People, there were a police officer trying to influence their vote, so people cuffed him and put him in a room.
Wait, let me get this straight. The people cuffed the police officer
and told him, shut up, you stay here, we are here to vote, not to do what you are dictating us to do.
Right, but so are these reports of irregularities very rare, or is this something that you think may be a widespread problem? What's your sense?
You know, it's not widespread and it's not rare, but I don't want to fall again in the same mistakes that happened in the parliamentary elections, you know, because we said, okay, those are minor violations. Actually, they are not really important, but you see, they led to a horrible result.
Right.
So I hope things will not be measured this way. We need to reach to a moment where no irregularities are allowed, and I think we are on our way to do that.
Okay, and also another thing I observed today was that the lines were shorter at the polling stations. We heard from the head of the Electoral Commission that turnout a few hours ago was measured at around 40%. Now that's lower than some optimistic projections.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's true. We did not see many people going to voting stations, actually mostly women than men. But generally, the percentage of those who decide to go for voting were very low up till this moment, actually. I think it's even going to be less than 50%.
Why do you think that is? I mean, you know, this is a historic event, and it's a first in terms of opportunities for ordinary Egyptians.
Yes, actually, I let one of our researchers to work specifically on this, and he gave me a report on that focuses on three things. Number one, probably because of the heat of the sun. It's very strong sun during the day, especially in the south. It's difficult for people to stand in the lines. This is one thing. Number two is that actually not all Egyptians live in their own cities. They keep traveling, you know, and they work and live in other places.
And you mentioned the role of women. So you had more women that you were able to observe today than men.
Surprisingly, yeah. And I think this is for one of two reasons. Either, number one, because women were strongly marginalized during the transitional phase, they decide to go there to say, we are here. We are a critical mass. We can make a difference, probably. And on the other hand, probably it's a trick that is used by the Muslim Brotherhood, and they have done this before, by the way, to mobilize women, to let their women, like Muslim sisters, to go and mobilize other women and take them to poll stations.
It's interesting because the women I spoke with over the last 2 days around polling stations, many of them told me they were voting for the Muslim Brotherhood.
Yeah, so probably that's why there are more women, you know.
Well, we'll know soon enough. Dalia Ziada, always a pleasure speaking to you, and thanks so much for joining us live on CNN.
Thank you.